My name is Rob, aka Motorbike Maniac. I've read a lot of comments that people have issues with their ignition system on their bike, and they will say things such as, I've changed my coil, I changed my spark plug, I'm still not getting spark, what do I do? So, that's why I decided to shoot this video explaining the procedure that I use to troubleshoot an ignition system. First of all, as you're probably well aware of, an engine needs three things to run: spark, compression, and fuel. And if you're not getting enough spark, compression, and or fuel, your engine's not going to run. I'm quite sure you realize that. If you are not knowledgeable about that and your engine's not running, it would probably be best to let somebody that knows what they're doing fix it rather than attempt to fix it yourself. You may end up making matters worse. With that said, let me go on to explain the procedures that I use to troubleshoot an ignition problem. Okay, first thing we need to do is remove the spark plug. And then plug it back into the boot here. Next we remove the magneto cover. And then we check for spark. Okay, so I'm not getting spark to the spark plug. I do have an ignition problem. Next step that I'm going to take is to test the voltage of the magneto. I do believe that the voltage of the magneto should be around 12 volts. However, I actually had a few bikes running really good at, 8, 9 volts, something like that. I'm going to take this multimeter and I'm going to set it at 10 volts DC. And hopefully, it'll, totally peg the needle. The next increment up is 50 volts. If I set it at 50 volts, it only goes up just a little bit. And it's really hard for me to see exactly what the voltage is. So I usually set it at 10 and hope that it goes all the way to the end. So, let's check the magneto. Take your black lead and connect it to the black wire on your magneto. And take your red lead and connect it to the blue wire on your magneto. And then crank the engine. So I'm getting 0 voltage from the magneto. That means the magneto's bad. Not necessarily. More than likely it is, but I have actually run into about 4 bad magnets. I've probably replaced hundreds of magnetos. It's very rare, but occasionally the magnet weakens and doesn't give any or enough power. So, how do you tell if it's the magnet or the magneto? Well, if you don't have a spare engine laying around that you can test it with, it's pretty hard to tell. I do know for sure that this magnet is a good magnet on this engine. So you take the magneto off the engine that you're working on and put it on another engine and run the same test, see what happens. Okay, once again, hook up the red lead to the blue wire and the black to the black wire, and then crank it over and see what we got. Wow, what do you know? In this case, we're getting voltage now, so it must be the magnet. No, actually it's not. This happens to actually be a brand new build. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the engine. I was just using this for demonstration purposes. So what do? If we check the magneto and we are getting good power, but we're not getting spark, alright, well, next thing you would do is plug the magneto back into the coil and then unplug the kill switch. I've had over 500 repairs that involved an ignition problem. And one time out of all those, I had a bad kill switch. which stopped the engine from getting spark. I used to laugh when people post that they're not getting spark, they change the coil, they change the spark plug, they're still not getting spark, and people comment back, well, unplug the kill switch. It's the kill switch. I bet it was the kill switch. I used to laugh. I'm like, kill switch don't go bad. Gee, I found out that's wrong. It does occasionally short out. Anyways, unplug the kill switch, crank it back over, see if you're getting spark to the spark plug. If you are not getting spark to the spark plug, you've tested everything but the coil. It would have to be the coil. Well, if you know another way to troubleshoot the ignition system, good for you. God bless you. I just wanted to point this out in case people have problems and don't know what to do. That's the way I do it. Peace out. Have a good day. Oh, and don't forget your helmet.